Why do some brakes sound like the screech of an eagle going in for the kill, or a cinder block being dragged down the sidewalk? I'm Pep Boys Regional Vice President Tom Balish, and while all brake systems make some noise, distinct sounds are an indication your system needs checked, or the next sound could be...
The Pep Boys Pros will inspect your entire brake system for free. Now how does that sound? Plus, if you need new brakes, save up to $60 off Wagner Premium Brake Services now through July 1st. Includes free tire rotation, only at Pep Boys. Offer after mail-in rebates. See restrictions at pepboys.com.
Blog Talk Radio.
Caution. The tea is hot. Blow it off first, okay? Dish and tea with Big Meech.
Hello, hello, hello. It's another glorious day, my tea sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your comforts together because it's time to dish the tea. And your dish the darlings. With Big Meech.
Can't wait. Time to dish tea with Big Meech. Time to dish tea with Big Meech. Time to dish tea with Big Meech. Time to dish tea with Big Meech.
Darling.
Just because I raised a little sane, I might be tired lately. Try to understand. That doesn't mean that you've done something wrong. No. And just because when we have a little fight and I walk out on you and stay gone all night, that doesn't mean that I'm not coming home. Whoa, baby, I love you. Oh, I love only you. What else can I do or say? Now just because when sometimes you want to make love and I tell you not tonight, you try to understand. I work hard all day, girl, I'm doing the best that I can. Now if you want to go, it's up to you, but I'm telling you right now, my whole world is gonna be misty blue. I'm begging you, please, 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 please stay. I love you. I sure love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. I love you. Yes, I do. What else can I do or say? Oh, baby, you know that I love you. You know that I love you. Oh, I love you, baby. What would it take to make you want to stay?
And hello, 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 hello out there in Blog Talk Radio land here in the glorious United States and across the globe. Hello to all of my babies over there in Italy and France and Germany and the Caribbean islands, and all of you all in the sound of my voice. And it's another glorious Wednesday, my tea sippers. And you know what time it is, so I'm sure you have all of your crumpets together, my darlings, because it's time to dish tea. You're dishing the tea, darlings, with Big Meat. Well, my babies, honey, it has been just a very fantastic last 7 days since I've been with you. Before we get into any and everything, let me do this. Today is May 20th, and I just want to call forth the name of someone who was very dear to me. If he were still here on this side of creation with us, let's see, he would be 52 years old today. So I'm going to shout out and call forth the name Mr. Darren McCarroll Jones, who was my pastor when we were a part of Unity Fellowship Church Movement out of the Detroit chapter. And he had passed on maybe about 4 years ago now. And I terribly, terribly miss him. But today he would have been 52 years young, and I just want to acknowledge his presence and welcome him here into the fold. And to all the other ancestors who have gone before us, honey, I call your name, I speak your names, and I welcome you here, you know, in this space and in this time. I'm going to call my brother's name Onesius Marnez Taylor because today's show has his energy all on it, okay? And with that, I just want to go forward and allow this particular energy and this particular space to reign supreme today, because we're going to do something that I believe is a call for action, a call for justice. And this is a wake-up call today. So as we get into this, honey, I know this is going to be a little bit that way for you. So I'm going to say this now. If you're listening by phone or by computer, I want you to gather all of the menfolk that you know who have been dealing with anything in the court systems, dealing with baby mama drama, and all that kind of thing, because today's show is for them, okay? For those of you who are allies to all of this, those of you who are looking to help support those who are the wonderful fathers out there, this show here is for them, okay? With Father's Day coming up and around the corner soon, honey, I want to make sure that, you know, we pay homage and everything to our fathers out there who are absolutely on the job and things of that nature. So, in case you want to have questions, comments, or concerns and want to come in on this, please feel free to call in at 347-205-9183. That's 347-205-9183, okay? Just press the number 1, press it one time. That lets me know that you have something to say, and I will bring you in at the appropriate time, okay? So, having said all that, wait a minute, I did not open up the tea room. Oops. Okay, wait a minute. There we go. Open it up. Okay, the tea room is open. Wait a minute, is it? Wait a minute. Come on and launch, child. Launch. Thank you. There we go. All right, she's opening up. So the tea room is open. So if you're listening by computer and want to come on over here into the chat room, honey, please feel free to do just that. But in order to communicate with us over here, you have to have a profile page created. So just go to blogtalkradio.com, and you'll be prompted to find out how you can create a profile page. It is free of charge, just like all the other social media networks out there. And that way you are able to come on in and talk with us and chat with us and everything. Otherwise, if you don't have one, if you come in, you'll see guest and a number, and you'll be able to read everything that's going on, but you won't be able to interact, okay? And that's fine, too. With your choice. But I will say this, if you're coming into the tea room, please come over here and dish your tea responsibly, darlings. Now, y'all know we're in this whole new thing now where everything is about 140, 160 characters and this, that, and the other, and we're constantly typing and texting or whatever, and we've created a new language I have affectionately coined textonics, okay? And oftentimes, because we are not listening or in each other's presence to hear one's voice, we may think somebody is trying to neck roll us or finger pop us or finger snap us or come out of a bag. And that may not necessarily be the thing or the catch, okay? It may just be because you don't hear the vocal affectations that we have or don't know my speech pattern or how I talk, that you may become offended. So when you're over here, dish your tea responsibly, because if I come in and find you cutting up, I am going to cut you out. Yes, I am. Okay. So, and let me put this here because I see this is going to be another one of those kind of shows, honey. Dishing Tea with Big Meech is for mature audiences, and the language and or subject matters that you hear on this program are not intended for children or anyone who is not mature and or responsible enough to handle the subject matters at hand. So your listening discretion is advised. I will repeat. Dishing Tea with Big Meech is for mature audiences, and the language and or subject matters that you hear on this program are not intended for children or anyone who is not mature and or responsible enough to handle the subject and the situations at hand. So your listening discretion is advised, child. For those of you who are new to this, you will understand very, 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 very quickly. I am 45 years young. Okay, I have earned the old-fashioned way, okay, the right to every 3, 4, 5, 6, 16, 27, 54, 192 word and or syllable, letter, phrasing, or something that comes out of my mouth, honey, okay? I don't know what bag I'm coming out of, honey. Just know that I'm coming out of one, okay? So if you are at work, now is the time for you to put your headphones on, turn your levels down to a respectful level. If you are at home and you have children around, now is the time to take the kids to the other room with the other big old flat screen TV or down in the den, okay? Let them go watch Dora or SpongeBob or Bert and Ernie or Kate and Allie or Cagney and Lacey, something, honey. Put them in the other room because this is the time for the grown and sexy to become the seasoned and sophisticated, honey, okay? Because none of you bitches will come to me at the Walgreens, the Walmart, okay, the Dollar Tree, the Dollar General, honey. I'm at Saks Fifth Avenue or Saks around the corner, honey. I don't care. You will not come to me and say that it's my fault that you got demerits and or this, that, and the other because you did not govern yourself accordingly, okay? So please consider yourselves warned. Okay? You have been warned, darling, okay? So, having said all that, my darlings, like I said, the last 7 days have been absolutely fantastic. If you are not here for Indigenous House in the Park, if you are not here in Atlanta for Indigenous House in the Park, sweetheart, when I tell you you missed the treat, I'm telling you, you missed the entire bakery, honey. We had cakes, pies, cookies, snowballs, snowflakes. We had tarts. Okay, we had little bonbons. Baby, we done sit up there. When I tell you these children cut up out here in the park, I mean it, and I ain't making no damn excuses for it. It got so tough, baby, let me tell you. Okay, I had somebody say, honey, we had the deaf, blind, and the dumb out there, honey. Okay, and I got so emotional because there was he was the one guy. I'm gonna shout you out, Ricky. His name was Ricky. He's visually impaired, but I'm gonna tell you like I know, honey. That boy got out there on that dance floor. When he wanted to dance, he had his guide graciously take him over to the dance floor. Baby, they got him settled, and when that boy got his life, I turned and I looked, and baby, I got perklimped, and all of a sudden, the waterworks just came because that was what the music was all about. For those of you who are house heads, and I mean old school house, baby, when we went and did this thing, that's what this was. This was about letting it out, just having a good time. And when I tell you that boy sat up there and did that, I lived. But wait. Because I said the deaf, blind, and dumb, honey. The deaf children was out there, can't hear shit. But, baby, they felt that beat. And when them children got out there signing and carrying on, baby, and listen to me carefully, I had to do a 360. Baby, I whirled around so damn fast, and you thought I was Wonder Woman going into battle. Baby, them kids cut the fuck up. And I was one of them. Because, child, okay, I sat up there, I forgot to wear my belt to my pants. And I couldn't cut up like I want to. Because I had to keep stopping because my pants was coming down. Child, you'd have thought I was David dancing on my clothes, child. Okay? I sat up there, and then I had to learn. It was 90 degrees, child. And usually when I've gone before, you know, I had denim jeans on before. But I see now a bitch can't wear denim no more, honey, because I sweated so much the damn pants got to sticking to me. And when they stick, you know, denim, when it gets weight on it when it starts sticking. So, child, I'm sweating and I'm wet. And I'm trying to dance, so that added more weight on to everything. Baby, when I gave not a full 6 o'clock, honey. The leg went up. It may not be 6 o'clock no more, honey, but it was a good 4:15, honey. Maybe, okay, maybe I gave you a 4:45. Okay. We got out there, baby, and we twirled, honey, we twirled. And then it did rain. Now, I was kind of a little that way with Miss Mother Nature, honey, because we thought we was going to get through it, right? But, darling, she poured down buckets. It was a damn thunderstorm, okay? But then I had to look at it this way. I said, honey, one of the things that I tell the children, and I learned this from my Bristol, Miss Becca. Okay, Becca, I'm shouting you out, girl, because you know I got this from you. That when folks pass on, you know, particularly the day of the funeral, we believe that heaven opens up and it just starts to rain to let us know that, you know, the heavens have received the Spirit, okay? That's it. Y'all may call it superstition, call it what you will, honey. But that just happens to work because that's just our way of talking to God. And when it happens, you know, it gives us calm and it gives us peace. But, darling, the way it had stormed out there so badly during that house music, I had to tell John Dennis, who was the creator of it and the curator, I said, sweetie, look at it like this. I said, all those who have passed on, honey, that need to be down here, that's their spirit raining down on all of this, child. I said, because they here. Them kids are here. We felt everybody who we had called out. We felt everybody there. It rained and rained and rained and rained again. And when it stopped, the music got better and better, baby. It got to the point I had to cut it short because I said, child, if I don't get up out of here, honey, I'm going to be hurting in a minute. So then, of course, I had to go to work the next day. My knees all cracking and shit. Had to go down steps and shit. I'm like, ooh, I felt it. I felt all of that twirl, but, baby, we had a good time. So if you missed it, That's all right, honey. We got next year coming up. But we do have something coming up here on July 19th with La Chic Mystique is going to be back at the park with another house music party for you. And when that comes, I'll give you more information on that. July 19th, that's another Sunday, children. So I'm telling y'all now to get it together. Okay? All right now. All right. Oh, we had a good time. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. So let me go here. Other special announcements, of course, you guys know, until the show opens here October 23rd, 24th, and 30th, No Time for the Pain makes its debut, its premiere here in the ATL. Honey, family ties are shattered and destroyed when fraternal twins Danielle and Eric confront one another on the issues of betrayal, infidelity, and HIV. I ask you this question, ladies, what would you do if you found out that your fiance of 7 years was having a sordid, illicit affair with your twin brother for 5 of those 7 years? Yeah, I said your twin brother, huh? Okay, your twin brother finds out he's HIV positive. You find out that you're pregnant and HIV positive. Yes. No time for the pain, honey. That's just one situation that's going on in this wonderful body of work where we're going to take a look at the LGBT culture from an African-American standpoint. It may not give you answers, honey, but it will give you something to talk about. Okay? Yes, honey. October 23rd, 24th, and 30th here at the South Fulton Arts Center. Right here in wonderful Atlanta, Georgia. More information is coming as we get closer and closer to that date. But please visit our website at dishingtea.com for more information on how you can become a partner with us if you want to advertise your business. If you have products, services, or just want to give us well wishes, give us a cute little congratulations or whatever. We have sponsorship packages available for you where you can advertise in our playbill. You can become a part of our one-line tea sippers little announcements. We have wonderful packages for you. We also have our merchandise, our No Time for the Pain merchandise, T-shirts, teacups, our official 11x17 artwork print, and also we have 6x8 ceramic tile plaques for your convenience to decorate your house. I was going to say decor, but I want to say decorate your house with our wonderful decor. So, again, go to www.dishingtea.com for more information on how you can make that happen. Okay? All right. We do have VIP tickets available as well. Tickets are on sale now, of course. And we do have VIP tickets, which is going to get you into our little tea party reception before the show each particular night, honey. So, again, www.dishingtea.com. All right? So having said all that, now I'm going to get my libation today, honey. We're drinking, I have a ginger and throat comfort tea mix here with a little bit of green tea. Yes, I usually make my own concoctions, honey, with little teas over here. So we're doing ginger tea with a little bit of throat comfort or throat coat. This is throat comfort from Yogi, or I usually use the throat coat from traditional medicines, and along with a little green tea concoction over here. So that's going to be my libation. So let me get coat my throat and tickle my palate. And when we come back, darlings, my guest today is going to rivet us because the information that we're going to be talking about, it is wonderful to hear that we have women on the forefront who are fighting for the rights of fathers. Oftentimes when we hear folks talking about the children and carrying on, women usually take the offensive position because they want to sweep the dad under the bus, and he ain't this and he's not doing that and blah, blah, blah. Well, I have a woman here who is going to open up our eyes to understand that a father has rights too. Okay, she is the author of A Father's Rights. Every man has a right to see his seed succeed. That's the name of the book. And when we come back, we will be talking with the one and only Miss JuVan Jackson. She goes by Princess J. So get your crumpets together, and while we're on this commercial break, all of the men folk that you know, or if you know some of these little baby mamas, honey, who got this baby mama drama going on, hell, her ass tune in too, okay? Because we finna get into this thing right here. Yeah, and I'm going to call her out. I'm going to call her out too. Now, I'm telling you, be warned. I don't want you to come up in here with your feelings. Because if you, like I say, just be ready, okay? Just be ready. So when we come back from this break, my guest, honey, Miss JuVan Jackson, will be right here. So stay tuned, and I'll talk to you in just a few.
Maggie Lee's Community Center offers a unique array of programs designed to improve the lifestyle and well-being of the community. Located at 7700 Puritan Avenue in Detroit, Maggie Lee's Community Center specializes in child care and latchkey services, as well as senior citizen activities and block club functions. For more information about Maggie Lee's Community Center, call 313-737-9042. Maggie Lee's Community Center, giving the people a chance to show how much they have to contribute. If you are looking for irresistible, breathtaking art, you've come to the right place. At Sherwood Forest Art, we carry a large selection of paintings, masks, figurines, and sculptures of both modern, abstract, and representational styles. To see all of our art treasures, visit our showroom today at 19500 Livernois Avenue in Detroit, Michigan. For more information, call 313-340-0411. Sherwood Forest Art, where art talks to us in a language of its own. Double Exposure Media Relations is a full-service public relations, marketing, and artist development firm specializing in urban culture and lifestyle. Spearheaded by the Henry Higgins of hip-hop, Mr. Angelo Ellaby, Double Exposure serves to educate its clients about the dollars and cents of the music industry. For more information about Double Exposure Media Relations, call 201-224-6510. 201-224-6510. Double Exposure Media Relations. An educator, an entrepreneur, a poet, an artist. Sharon Williams Dean is Art by Sode, creating beautifully exquisite artwork for your home, business, gifts, or any special occasion. For more information, contact Art by Sode at 313-740-4904 or visit the gallery at www.artbysode.com. That's www.artbysode.com.
While he was steaming, I was steaming in the beamer, just steaming. Can't believe that I caught my man cheating. So I found another way to make him pay for it all. So I went to Neiman Marcus on a shopping spree, and on the way I grabbed Sully and Mia. And as the cash box rang, I thought everything away. There goes the dreams we used to say. There goes the times we spent away. There goes the love I had, but you cheated on me, and that's for that now. There goes the house we made a home. There goes you'll never leave me alone. For all the lies you told, this is what you owe. When you
And we are back. I'm still here. I'm laughing. We have in-studio guests over here in the studio with us, honey, studio audience and things. So we're sitting up here just enjoying ourselves in between the commercial breaks. So right now, if you're just tuning in and wish to come in on this conversation, please feel free to call in at 347-205-9183. 347-205-9183. All right? So now let's get into this thing here, my darlings. Okay? I am calling out to all of my fathers out there who have dealt with the court systems across the country. Today's show is dedicated to you, learning how you can understand your rights within the court system whenever you're dealing with the issues of child support, visitation rights, joint custody, and any other battle you may have with a baby mama or a mother of your children who have become a complete nightmare in your life. Our guest today is someone who is an ally to the men who have this struggle in this country. She has authored a book, A Father's Rights, that will give fathers the tools they need to empower themselves while dealing with these situations. Ms. JuVan Jackson will be dishing tea and share why she has taken on this mission to assist men with securing, knowing, and exercising their rights. Now, I know you're going to make sure you have a lot of crumpets, children, okay? Get them together, invite all the brothers together, and let's partake of this big old hot pot of tea. So without any other ado, this is Miss JuVan Jackson. Hello there, Princess J, baby. What's going on?
Good afternoon. How are you today?
Honey, I am everything, and everything is me. Honey, thank you for coming on in with us and for just being a beacon of light, honey, because, darling, as I told you when we first started talking about this, baby, when I saw this, let me give the audience a little doo-wop with this. We are linked in, okay, and she put out this little mass thing on LinkedIn and whatever. She's like, I got this book and this, that, and the other. And I said, oh. And so when I read the message, I went and I said, wait a minute, did you say A Father's Rights? And so she put a little bit of information about the book in the text, and I said, oh, wait a minute. So when I called her, I said, oh, sister, wait a minute, you need to come on the show. And she said, well, wait a minute, let me tell you about the book, and it's this and it's this. And I said, oh, wait a minute, most definitely you need to come on the show. I haven't even read the book yet, and I already know you need to come on the show. So that's how it's just that impromptu because of the subject matter that we have at hand, dealing with paternal rights, and dealing with the rights of fathers, and dealing with the idea that, a lot of men out here feel as though that, when it comes down to the court systems and carrying on, that they have no justification in it. They can't find any justice for themselves or whatever the case may be. So let me say thank you on behalf of the men who deal with this. As I said at the top of the show, my brother's energy is on this because naturally prior to his passing, dealing with his former wife and dealing with the child support system and carrying on. This was an issue that he had. And there was nothing that I could do per se because it was his fight and it was his ex-wife, and it just seemed like it just pissed me off because every time that heifer sneezed or if she woke up wrong and caught a cramp and her big toe said she couldn't go to work or whatever because it got to throbbing, she decided she needed a day of increase and would take him to court over some bullshit, and it got on my nerves.
Exactly.
So, to have you to say, no, honey, women, you need to take better care of yourself, and we need to understand what this is, honey. I have to applaud you for stepping up to the plate. And then as an African-American woman, honey, that's a whole big thing, because usually stuff like this come out, we get it from our European perspective, and this is not to throw the race card nowhere, because we like help wherever it comes from. It's just that when we're talking about our own, honey, it's good to know that the sisters are stepping up to the plate and saying, no, come on, brothers, you still the kings or whatever, and we still got your back. So having said all that, a soliloquy, honey, let me let you introduce yourself in your own way and tell us how this became a plight for you.
Okay. Actually, I'm a native of Atlanta, I do have 5 kids. I have an older son that has a son. I've written, produced, and directed 2 gospel stage plays here in Atlanta, so writing is a passion for me. I'm also a paralegal here in Atlanta as well, specializing in immigration law. Once my son and his girlfriend broke up, he had the baby, and with most young men, it's hard for young men to be involved in their kids' life. It's okay to come over, drop them off for a couple of hours, and you go about your business. But my son was raised different. He wanted to have a hands-on approach with his son. Even if the relationship was over, he still was taking care of his kid. This young lady was very upset that he was now seeing someone else. And he was with this other person at their home, and this young lady actually had the police to come to my house. What was unbeknown to me at the time, although my son was paying child support and had signed the birth certificate, the baby did not belong to him.
Wait a minute, what?
No, the baby did not belong to him. And that is the misconception that men have. They're like, okay, I'm paying child support. I signed the birth certificate. Why can't I see my child? And one step that we do not take, and that's the step of legitimation. So without my son legitimizing his son, he was actually breaking the law as far as interfering with child custody. He really didn't have any rights at all to his son. And with someone working in the legal field, it's like, oh, my goodness, that's something totally crazy. But with God's favor, the officer was able to go into another county, get my grandson, bring my grandson back to my home so the young lady could get her son. After that, I started researching, and I'm like, this is crazy. And then I started hearing about all these people that get arrested for child interfering with child custody. And it's only because it's an anger situation. It's not a situation that you're really interfering. It's just that we know as women, I have all the rights. I have all the say. This is my kid. You were basically just a donor. So that prompted me to write this book. And with that, not only is the book a novel with 4 different scenarios of different stories of how women utilize the children. We as women, once we're upset and we're mad, we're like an atomic bomb. And what we use, our choice, a weapon, is our children. They are the weapon of mass destruction. If you want to break any good man down that love his kid and want to be a part of his child's life, take that child away from him. You will weaken that man. And then there's man out there that says, you know what, I'm not going to deal with this. You do what you have to do. I'll see the kid in 18 years.
Right.
And what we fail to realize at this point is that you're not only hurting the father, you're hurting the kid, because at this point, this child is going to have issues to say, why did my father never want to have anything to do with me? Why was he out of the loop? We tell these fictitious stories, and we make them believable as years pass and the fathers are not there. You have your young men that are growing up fatherless, and what do? They tend to repeat the
pattern.
And keep it moving without having a figure in our young African-American men life, just not African-American men life, but just in a young man's life. They tend to stray 90% of the time the other way. They're doing things against the law. They're not law-abiding. And it's a domino effect to the issue at hand. My goal is to make sure that men understand this one thing. If you have a child that is born out of wedlock, legitimize your baby so that you will have the same right as that mother do. With that, She can't keep that child away from you. She can't say, no, little John can't come over this weekend. You place your days.
Right.
Put your days in action.
Let me do this because, see, you have this in the back of the book, and what I like to call, this is the resource part of the book.
Yes.
I'm gonna read a couple of things here. First, let me read this because, girl, when I read this, I was like, it opened up my eyes to so many different things because I did not know this, and I'm going to say this too. When we hear the word legitimate, we always thought, I'm gonna be very honest, that was a white woman's term. You know, because we always hear them say, my children are illegitimate. No, my children are not illegitimate, and this, that, and the other, as if to say that you were just sleeping around and you didn't give the baby the daddy's name or whatever. And that was always something that I grew up thinking, okay, whatever, it was code for me to say that, okay, you had the baby out of wedlock. But I see that has a whole different connotation. Let me read this, and this is something that you write here to close the book before you go into the resources. This is on page 246 of the book, A Father's Rights. And you say, we are all human and entitled to make mistakes, as God knows that we as humans will. Intentionally not allowing fathers to be in the lives of their kids because you are bitter about the breakup is unfair to the child. Put your feelings aside and allow your child to have the best life possible, even if that means that daddy is in another house. Love your child more than you love yourself or your ego, because at the end of the day, it's about the child. Playing the hostage game with them only makes them resentful of you when they grow to know the truth. It took the two of you to make them. Allow the two of you to raise them. Allow the father to see his seed succeed. Stop LB. Love blocking. Love blocking is causing our children to have a disadvantage in life when they should have an advantage. The influence of a father in the lives of our children is priceless. They need both parents to be a part of their lives. Don't take away from others what you don't want taken away from you. He has a right to be a part of his child's life. He has a right to see his child grow up. He has a right to assure that his child is a productive member of society. He has a right, a father's right. Every man has a right to see his seed succeed. I live for that. Okay, I live for that. And then you say this here on the next page when we go into resources for legitimizing your child. The question is, when a child is born out of wedlock, and when is a child when is a child born out of wedlock, and when is a child legitimate? A child is quote unquote born out of wedlock if the child's parents, 1, were not married when the child was conceived, 2, were not married when the child was born, and 3, have not married since the child was born. A child is automatically considered legitimate if the child was born when the parents were married. If a child was conceived during the parents' marriage and they divorced before the child was born, that child is still considered legitimate. If the parents marry after a child is born, the child is considered legitimate. What is legitimization? Legitimization is the process that fathers use, other than marriage to the mother, to establish parental rights to their children who were born out of wedlock. Without legitimization, such fathers have no right to custody or visitation of these children, although the law says that they have the obligation to support them financially. That's the proviso. Without legitimization, mothers have the sole custody of children born out of wedlock. Also, children born out of wedlock do not automatically have the right to inherit from their fathers. Baby, that's the line right there.
Yeah, that's a lot of tea to sip right there.
Okay, did you just work it? Okay, sip it. Okay, right. Yes. It's hot, baby. Blow it off first.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's what but we don't understand that, and that's something that we do not know. And we're uneducated to that. We just think, okay, I signed the birth certificate, I'm paying child support. And that is the biggest problem that we have. Men are paying the support, but they have no rights to their children because of this one step that they have not taken.
Interesting. Now, you know what? Let me go here, though. Let me go here because, see, let me stir this pot just a little bit because I'm going to do it on both sides of this particular coin because, like you have, I'm not sure if you've seen the Iyanla Fix My Life series with old boy with the 34 children. Okay.
Oh, yes, I did. I caught a glimpse of it, yeah.
Oh, baby, I saw that from start to finish. That whole season was this man. Okay.
Wow.
And carried that whole entire season, all 6 of those episodes, honey, was him and dealing with him and all the women and carrying on. What does that say to us when we have the dude who feels as though his manhood is not defined unless he going around poking every hole that he feels is consumable and making all these damn babies? And then the flip side of that coin, what do we say about all these damn baby mamas when you got umpteen kids, about 15 different damn men? How do we then try to gauge all of this? Because if we talk about legitimacy of children, as a taxpayer, you know, and I'm a taxpayer who have no dependents, and I'm single, so I feel as though I am the purse strings of America because we don't have any tax breaks or whatever. I'm at a 24.2% tax bracket before I do overtime, and I could go up to 27%. So as someone who pays into this system, and we have to help take care of these kids, and one way, shape, style, form, and fashion, I'm not saying everybody's on welfare, so don't throw stones at me. But for those of us who see this all the time, how do we get this information out there so that all of these folks will understand that, hell, the court system is real and that there's got to be something done with this?
The way to get it out, one through social media. If we talk about the latest video, we talk about the new cars, we talk about the latest fashion, this is something that we need to talk about. We say Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. And the fact that legitimizing your child matters in order to be in your rightful place in your child's life, that matters. We have to place it in the right perspective. We as a people, we look at the small things. We can take this issue and brush it up under the rug until it hit us in the face. We can know there's something that I could do, but what can I do? Men can go from job to job to job, skip out on child support, and the reason why, well, she won't let me see him, so why do I have to pay child support? I can't see the kid without knowing what their rights are. I truly believe that if a kid is born out of wedlock, before that individual leaves the paperwork, leaves the hospital with that father's name on it, I think they should make them legitimize the kids at that point. We can stop a lot of this stuff.
You know what? Now, there you go right there.
From the beginning, then you won't have this game that we're playing with one another. When we're married and we decide we're going to break up 2 months after the kid is born, we got to go through the whole process. It's just that, no, you can't take the baby, I can't take the baby. You know, there's a process, and I think there should be a process with these kids born out of wedlock. And as far as the financial side goes, one thing that the government has done is if you're getting $175 a month in welfare or a public assistance, you can have 25 kids. That's going to be the same amount that you get. They're not giving that increase anymore, which is a good thing. But on the flip side, you have more kids, your food stamps go up. And then what do we do with that? Half of them sell the remnants of what they have. They buy what they need and sell the rest of it. So, and it still hurt us as a consumer because we can't go into the grocery store and buy the lobster, the steak, and the shrimp and decide we're going to come home and cook that for a whole week and that's how we're going to eat. We can't have these luxury cookouts every weekend during the summer because we have public assistance. what needs to happen is that if these men are taking care of their kids the way that they're supposed to, then the women are not able to get as much on food stamps. Better yet, some of the food stamps will be cut completely off because they're getting the assistance from the gentleman. So that's why if you get them in the loop, a lot of this public assistance will stop. And it'll be more in the space, in the reserve for people that really do need it. So it is a domino effect. When the fathers are not able to be in the child's life, they're not paying child support, they're not seeing the kid, the mom is doing X, Y, Z. So therefore, we're getting the brunt of it. You look at the WIC. WIC is an awesome program. I will give my money for WIC any day of the week. That's a great program, but when it comes down to the food stamps and every time you get a kid, you get an extra $300 a month for a child. I don't know no child that eats $300 worth of groceries in a month. And I have 5, and it's not $300 per child. So I'm looking like,
you ain't gonna work me.
That's
you ain't
a
gonna
problem.
work me. She said, I know damn well we didn't put no $1,500 worth of food up in here. Okay, Mom. Okay. Wait a minute, girl. You ain't gonna work me for that. But I feel you. I feel you on that. I feel you on that. I feel you on that. And that there is something that's very interesting. See, here's something that I find to be a discovery. Back when I'm a 70s baby, so back when I was born, this was just when they started switching this over because there was an option. Prior to me, women did not have the option of not giving the child the father's last name because everybody knew the father was, so it was automatically said that this child was this particular man's son. And so once you named the baby automatically became the last name of the father. Well, when my mother had me, she told my dad that she was not going to give me his name because my father was one of 12 children, and so and there was 10 boys. So my mother was like, "No, your name is going to carry on. My father's name is not." So she wanted us to have, her name, her surname, which happens to be my grandfather's name, who I never met because he passed when my mother was a teenager. So for that's what it was when I was born. But at the same time, there were still those instances where, if the child only got the mother's last name if the children were not married. But there was still this thing that when they were, if the folks were married, that the father was the one who made all the decisions on what was going on with the woman. At that particular time, the father could say whether or not the woman could get her tubes tied or whatever. Because if she said, "I ain't having no more kids," that was because my parents finally, I wasn't married. I was the bastard child, honey. They wasn't married when I was born, but when my siblings came, they were. And when my mother said that she was done, the doctor told her she had to get permission from her husband to tie her tubes, and that was ridiculous. So I thought, but that was back then. And of course, it was very chauvinistic, on a lot of the rules and carrying on how they were treating women. And when they started to relax some of these rules to give women a little bit more empowerment, it seems as if we have now gone to the whole flip side of that coin, to where they took the man completely out of it. There's no decision that he has on it, none whatsoever. And yet, even though he has no decision on anything, he still has the responsibility for it,
Right. Yeah, and that's the sad part. There's 2 gentlemen that's been in the news here lately, and it's very unfortunate for them because they have proven through DNA that these kids do not belong to them, but they have been forced to pay child support. Normally, when you go into the court system, I know here in Georgia, you put an individual up for child support, you actually have to go to court. You just can't do it. And the first thing that the judge says now is, do you want a DNA? If you opt out of that and say, no, I know the kid is mine, because, you know, when they're babies, they look like some of everybody.
Right,
they look like
right.
you want them to look like. So when you opt out of that test, when you go for that first hearing with child support, you say, well, no, judge, this is my baby, and I know I'm going to pay child support, and then something happens, the kid gets sick, and he needs liver transplanting, kidney transplanting, come to find out that you're not a match. Your DNA does not match this kid's DNA, but guess what? You got to continue to take care of this baby, because at that point, you opted and said, I don't want a DNA. These gentlemen did not have that option. They didn't have the option of taking the DNA before they maliciously and maliciously put on someone's birth certificate as the father. These men have gone through so much, losing a lot, losing their jobs, losing homes, and sleeping in their cars because of the child support issue, and the courts are at a standstill now to what to do. They got one gentleman in Detroit, they're going to dismiss what's going forward, but there's $21,000 in arrears on a kid that he's never seen, and a kid that doesn't belong to him that they expect for him to pay. Now, I think that's wrong. I think when women fictitiously put you down as the father of their child, knowing that you're not, whatever assistance that they have received from the government, they should have to pay that money back with interest.
Exactly.
As well as pay him his money back. Because if he has been protesting from the beginning, this is not my kid, this is not my kid, then there is a problem. That's why it's so important for men to understand that you need to follow the proper steps, get the DNA test done, legitimize your child, because if you wait a year, wait 2 years, you're going to have a long wait in paying before you can get the situation resolved. So it's best to resolve these issues up front before you let them get out of hand. And
okay, now it's interesting that you went and quoted that, because I'm from Detroit. So, yeah, I'm from Detroit.
Right.
So, and I was going to quote that same thing, because when I read that, this man sat up there and said they done been garnishing his payment and carrying on. He ain't seen the baby, don't know nothing about the child. And then come to find out you ain't even the father of the baby, and they still told him that, no, you still got to pay this money and this, that, and the other. I busted the bug gasket. I was like, wait a minute, hold on.
It's fair. It's unfair.
Yeah. Hey, let me do this, because you have this here. This is on page 256. The question is, does it matter if the father's name or Social Security number is on the child's birth certificate? If a man's name or Social Security number is on the child's birth certificate and someone files a petition to establish paternity, the burden of proof is on the man to prove that he is not the father. If the birth certificate of the child does not contain any information about the father, the person or agency that filed the paternity action must prove that the man is the father.
So there's here again, careful who you give your information to. Guard that Social Security number.
Ooh.
Guard it with your life. If they get a hold and know your Social Security number, that is the link to garnishing your wages. That is the link to take your income tax return every year. You're expecting that $3,000, and you get a letter opposed to a check. That's not a good look.
You expected $3,000. You get 3,000 characters that say, "Oh, excuse me, but
yes, not a good look."
Okay. Now, let me get into the book just a little bit, because the way how you wrote this, I have been going through this book, and I sit up here saying, oh, I know somebody like this. Ooh, I know a couple like this. Ooh, okay. And now the one that got me, the one that really just pissed me off, is, because when I see this, because this is the one that's also common for me, okay? And this here happens to be with, wait a minute, let me get the right page. Ooh, let me get the right page, girl, because I don't want to call the wrong name. Hold on. What's this girl's name? No, because I know somebody like that with Cheryl and Karen. I know that too. Wait a minute. Hold on. I just had my page and I lost my page. Oh, damn it. No, that's all right. I'm going to make the tab, honey. Hold on. Because Jessica.
Oh.
Jessica.
Yeah.
Jessica, honey. That's this heifer who sit up here, you to jump off. The little one-night stand of the friends with benefit little heifer. Okay. Now sit up there, got yourself a little situation. But now, because you ghetto fabulous and think you're going to flip a script, see, you know, we said, usually we call those girls the gold diggers, you know, and carrying on because you think now you finna go to hold this child for ransom and carrying on. But I'm gonna tell you what got me. Hold on, because I have seen this happen, and I know I know them, but we don't hang or nothing. But there's a part in the book where Anthony comes over. He done won the court case. You supposed to let me have my little visitation rights, heifer. I say drop the baby off, you know. So now you got your attitude. You know, you come give me the baby and think, okay, okay, I'm mad at you. I'm pissed. So you get the baby. But then you going to call back, I'm going to come back in an hour to get my baby, have my baby ready. You know, get real funky. And then you going to cut up. You going to come out here and make a scene where I live. Cut up. Nut up so somebody could call the police. And then get mad. Get upset because the police wasn't on your side. And see, this is another thing that men forget. Men do not know how to keep records properly, you know, and understand how important this paperwork is. One of the things about with Jessica and Anthony is that he was on top of his game, had all of his receipts, all of his everything. He kept his records together. Said, I documented from the time this baby was conceived. I done got down to the last penny, every pamper that I done bought. Okay? And this, that, and the other. For this girl to sit down here and to cut up like she did. Baby, when you was writing this, give me the inside of all this. And what part of this was your son? Because somewhere up in here is your son going through all this, and I think it might have been that one.
Yes, we had a situation as well, whereas he received a letter from Clayton County, and the letter was an administration for a warrant. So she had applied for a warrant for child abandonment, and the way she did it was she was just dodging his phone calls, not calling him, not letting him see the baby and what have you. And when she finally allowed him to see the baby, she was in the process of going out, and she asked him, you know, can you keep the baby, blah, 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 blah. He was like, yeah, I can keep him, bring him on over. And she did just that. And a lot of this was done through text messages, and I've always advised him, keep your text messages, keep your receipts. Even if she's not coming to pick the Pampers up, you got your receipts. The Pampers are here, because she would call me and say, Miss J needs some Pampers. Can you give me some money? No, baby, but the Pampers is here. And she could come at any given time to get Pampers. That was my biggest thing for him. Always keep Pampers, always keep milk, always keep what you need, the necessities for this baby, because she can call at any given time.
Right.
When he went to court, the mediator was there, and she said, you know, when was the last time you saw your son? And he politely said, it's been 2 weeks. And, you know, the young lady was there. She said, no, it's been over a month. And he was like, no, it's been 2 weeks since I've seen him. And the mediator said, well, do you have proof? He said, yeah. So he showed her the text messages, and she read the text messages off. She said, okay, so it's been less than 30 days since you see the kid, Chet. He spent the night, so therefore you provided shelter, check. You had to feed him because he spent the night, so you provided food, check.
Check.
So she said, okay, you guys can go back in the courtroom. So when they went back in, she, asked the judge for the case to be dismissed because the father had been involved in the kids. Now, this is the thing. In Georgia, if you have not seen your child, have not provided for your child, the person can take out a warrant for child abandonment on you. And a lot of women do this. But what I love about Clayton County is that Clayton County have a probable cause hearing to see whether or not you can be arrested for that particular charge. So they try to resolve it opposed to kids throwing people in jail. So at the probable cause hearing, it was thrown out. Of course, she was very upset because the case was thrown out. But here again, keeping record, text messages, the whole nine of conversations between the non-custodial and the custodial parent and keeping receipts and what have you. So for her to sit in front of the mediator and say, oh, no, it's been over a month, and she was very confident in her speaking about it, no, it's been a month. It's been over a month. He was able to prevail in that, and that's what men don't understand. Like in Fulton County, it's not going to be a probable cause. If I go down and say, Demetrius is the father of my kid. He hasn't seen my child in 3 months. He hasn't provided for my kid. I want to take a warrant out for him. Bam. You get pulled over for a traffic violation. All of a sudden, you see that you have a warrant for your arrest for child abandonment, and you're like, what the what? So,
okay.
It's how females know how to work the system. And this is how the system is being worked, but it hurts those men that are rightfully trying to do right by their kids. It's just that the relationship didn't work. Sorry. And I tell young ladies all the time when I'm counseling or I'm talking to them and they're talking about, I don't want him to see the baby because I don't want him around his girlfriend. I'm like, you the crazy. Because, one, while you worrying about him at the club, you sitting here rocking your baby to sleep. When you need to say, hey, come get little John, and let him rock that baby while you're at the club.
So you can go to the club sometimes.
You're doing what you want, while you're doing what you're wanting to do. And he's the one sitting at home with the kids. And I'm like, that is just crazy to me when you have someone that wants to be a part of their kid's life, and you want to throw that block up to keep them away because you're mad. I would be like, nope, come get yours. My daughter used to be mad at me every year. I was a single parent before I married my husband and had other kids, and I promise you one thing I never did was keep her away from her dad. School ended, just like today's the last day of school. She would be on a plane on Friday, headed to New York. Yes, sir. She would not come home until a week before school start. And she used to tell me, I said, Mom, I'm so tired of Coney Island. I said, honey, ask your dad to find another park for you to go to, but you're going to New York. I truly believed in her spending that time with her father, because we were in two different states. And it wasn't like I can take her every single weekend. Spring break, I was in college. Did I enjoy a Black College reunion? You bet I did. Why? Because spring break every year, girlfriend was on a plane to New York. So I enjoyed my life, and that's what I don't understand about these women, these girls that have these babies. You sit and say you can't do what you want to do because you got this baby. Let him figure out who's going to babysit. And, you think about it now, how many females are sitting at home mad, going to be mad this weekend because they can't go to bike week? I bet the baby daddy there. I bet the baby daddy there. I bet you he's on his katana, he's on his ninja, he's on his Harley, and you're sitting here rocking your baby because you're so with your time of giving to let that man be a part of that baby's life. So if we don't wake up, this is a vicious cycle that's going to keep repeating and repeating and repeating. It's already there. Because these girls are basically repeating the same cycle that their mom did.
Exactly. Now, let me ask this question, because it seems as though you have been one of the ones to prevail and understood what it means to not be jealous of the father spending time with the child. How is it that we can empower men to want to embrace that time? Because one of the things that, and I'm going to throw myself out here for just a second, because I don't have any biological children, but I have practically adopted the world in some regard. Okay. And as a gay man, it's a little different in our culture, because we tend to be very overprotective of this, that, and the other. So I have been, quote unquote, a single parent. Okay, in dealing with all of my children. But now I have an opportunity where I let somebody into, quote unquote, co-parent. So we're both mentoring this, particular. We have the number of folks that we're co-parenting and mentoring and this, that, and the other. But I find myself, because I've been so used to doing it by myself, here we have someone else in the picture, and I understand that whole dynamic where one parent feels jealous because the child, seemed to be in love with the other parent more, or this, that, and that. And I find myself going through that. So in dealing with a biological situation where you have the two parents, how is it that we're able to allow or teach folks to say, hey, this is what it is. There's two parents here. There's two different perspectives, and the child needs to learn both of them. How do we let that child go and say, no, you go take that time with that child, honey, and you get off my nerve. Let him understand what it means, because I've been putting up with you for this, that, and that, and I had to deal with this, and I had to deal with that. He gets a break because he gets you for the summer, but I got to deal with you, spring, summer, winter. Fall, winter, spring, fall, winter. He only got you for the summer. Oh, no. He needs to understand exactly all your twerks and quirks and this, that, and that to get off my nerve. But how do we teach to let the jealousy not build up? Because we've been doing so much for so long, and that, and letting him come in, how do we get around that dynamic?
First of all, it's about self-evaluation.
Okay, dig it.
At this point, you got to evaluate yourself, because that's the issue that you have within yourself. So you got to let go of whatever that spirit is that's keeping you from wanting to let that child go or to be jealous. And I feel like when you have kids, you should never be jealous of the other one, because I promise you, there are things that my daughter's father could do for her that I could not do. I was not jealous because my child was the recipient of that good deed. My child was the recipient of something that I couldn't give her. As a single parent, as a person being in college and what have you, he's living in New York in a brownstone that was gifted to him and his mom and what have you, because of a death in the family. There's something, so their money was good money, and he was able to take her places and do things for her. She would come home like, oh, I did this and oh, I did that. And I'm like, oh, wow, that was awesome. Now, part of me was, oh, I wish I could have shared in that experience. But I kept that inside in order to allow her to have that fun, because if that, and there we go, when we get jealous and have that spirit, we're LBing. We're love blocking.
That love blocking? Get out of here.
That's it. So you got to let that go. You have to let it go, because what you can't do, when you have two parents and one is stronger on this end than the other one, like my husband, he's very strong in math. He's very strong in math. When the babies come to me and ask me something about math, I'm like, oh, you got to wait till your daddy get home, boo-boo. If I don't know the answer, you got to wait on daddy. Now, when it comes to all your other work, mama got you right here. So everybody has a role to play. Stay in your lane.
Dig it.
Stay in your lane. Know what your gifts are for your child, and you release those gifts and enjoy those gifts with your child. and on the other hand, let that other parent enjoy and let the child enjoy all the gifts that they have to offer so that they can have the best of both worlds. Don't LB. Don't love block it.
Oh, you better teach this thing up in here today. That's what you better do. You LBing, baby. Okay, that's a T-shirt. That's a T-shirt. You LBing, baby.
Let me that patent right now so they can get that done. I have something else in the book I had to get patent. So.
Okay. Right. Okay. Okay, this y'all over here say, no, that's a billboard, honey. They have a T-shirt. That's a billboard, honey.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
Okay. So now, let's understand something here. And I see we got some callers. Callers, I'm going to come to you in just a few moments. As a grandmother, looking into this situation when you were going through this with your son,
I'm sorry.
And I know...
Not grandmother. Let me stop you. I'm sorry, but I am too fabulous to be a grandmother. He calls me Duchess.
Wait a minute. You know what? I stand corrected, Duchess. Okay. She said, I'm too fabulous to be a grandmother. He calls me Duchess. Okay. Okay, for the Duchess.
He's only a
for the
couple
Duchess.
of my baby.
Okay.
Duchess.
Wait a minute. Okay. Let me pick my face back up, put it in place. Okay. Okay, duct tape it down. Ooh. Okay, duct tape it down, honey, because I can't find my crazy glue, so duct tape works. Okay. And okay, there we go. Now, well, Duchess, as you were looking in on this situation and seeing that your child was going through this, what was that experience for you? Because I know watching my mom go deal with my brother, because she and my brother would sit down, and my brother had he had anxiety attacks and carried on because he wasn't understanding this and understanding that, and she talked to him more than I did, and but when we talked, we were able to come up with some kind of conclusions or whatever. But when he talked to my mom, he was more, getting this particular perspective from the whole marriage in and dealing with, okay, you've had kids and you had to go through this with Daddy, with us, so, how do I deal with her? Because you a woman, because I didn't have, my siblings were my kids. I helped my mother raise my siblings. So I couldn't give him everything that I knew, and then too, I wasn't as up on the laws as I should have been or could have been or whatever, because that wasn't my issue. Until I didn't start looking into it until I started watching him go through what he was going through. And then it became a passion of mine, because I was like, okay, you know what? As I'm hearing the brothers, I get tired of looking at Maury Povich. You are the father. You are not the father. And all that old craziness.
Right.
How was you as a Duchess, how did that's too cute. How was this affecting you? And as you were giving your son the tools, what was that for you personally? Because see, I know my mother being my mother, wanted to go snatch this heifer. Go woman to woman. Be like, okay, a little bitch, hold on. But she had to pull herself back because, that's not my fight. This is his, and he's got to learn X, Y, and Z. My sisters, on the other hand, was like, what, damn that, I'm going to go with her ass, and take her to the streets. But how was that for you?
Exactly. It was painful because this young lady, when we initially found out she was pregnant, they politely called me to tell me. And I knew that he had been, hanging out over to her home late nights. And I was a little on the defense when her mom called to tell me that the young lady was pregnant. And I was somewhat rude because I was on my way out to a dinner party. And I told her I really didn't have time to discuss it. That's something that she's going to have to deal with, because no one ever called me to discuss whether or not Michael, which is my son, Michael could stay over late night. No one ever asked me that. But you want to come and ask me my opinion about the young lady being pregnant. Now, I don't have time to have this conversation right now, but I will get back with you at a later date. And I politely hung the phone up because I felt like, don't call me to tell me that she's in trouble. You helped her get in trouble by allowing this young man to frequent your home as often as you did, to stay as late as he did. You know,
right.
When you're in college, Michael was, you know, past 19, so there was nothing for me to do at this point. But, you know, hey, I sat down, I talked to Mike, I asked him if it was true, the young lady was pregnant. He did tell me yes, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, that's your life now, because you have to take care of this kid, and I wholeheartedly believe in taking care of your child. You will not be a deadbeat. You will not be labeled as that. Once the relationship ended and she started acting the crazy, it bothered me a lot because, yes, I haven't been saved all my life. And if you really want to stir up anger in someone, bother their children.
Okay.
That is something that you don't want. That's a bridge you don't want to cross because you can't get back over it if you get caught the right way. So I initially, you know, I talked to Michael, and my thing was, this is what you're going to do. You're going to do 1, 2, 3, X, Y, Z, and you're going to follow these steps. And in this order is what you're going to do. So that's why everything that she tried to do to him has always backfired on her because he has followed the guidelines. Does it hurt when he was sitting and he would call her and there's no answer? She won't return a text and what have you. And I'm like, oh, wow. And he's sitting there looking at his younger brothers playing, and he's, oh, I wish Jay was here. You know, it's like,
right.
Yeah, I know. But until your legitimation is done, this is what you have to deal with. This is exactly what you have to do with. But had you did what I told you to do in the beginning is keep your business to yourself, and if you was going to go out here and play in the rain, keep your raincoat on. Had you done that, you would not be in the situation that you're now in. So this is the remnants of you not following directions, and this is the road we have to take. Now, if you continue to follow the path that I'll lead you on, if there is a detour, you'll make it through. But if you don't, when you come to that roadblock, you're going to be on your own. So he has graciously followed my lead and has done the things that I have asked him to do as far as when it comes down to his child. And we enjoy the baby and what have you. And he comes, he'll call me and Duchess, I come to your house. I was like, okay, well, come on, baby, come to Duchess. He was just here a couple of weeks ago, and he was so funny. His mom came to pick him up, and he said, well, I'm not ready to go. I said, well, baby, you have to go home. He said, he went in my bathroom. He said, tell her I'm not here.
Okay.
Hiding from her. I said, oh, my. And I just asked her if he could stay a couple of more hours because he wasn't ready to go. And she, you know, she said, okay. So it's better, but the steps we had to take, the road we had to take.
Right.
So there was a lot of days, a lot of days where he was hurt, and I wanted to reach out and hug him, but, you know, I had to say, you don't have to deal with this because you just didn't do what Mama told you to do. Had you did what Mama said, you went. So on the inside, I was aching for him, but I still had to keep that stern face as a mom and what have you. But he knew I was always in his corner. And as of today, he's good. He's good with his baby. So,
now, you know, again, going back to this book, girl, because you got these situations all laid out and carried on, honey. But the other situation, one of the other ones in here is, this is Karen. Karen.
Yeah.
Okay, Karen and Jonathan, the married couple who didn't want kids. She didn't want to have no kids, but now she's going to call herself trying to secure her money and secure this by going to have a child for the dude, but then had no sense of being a mama.
Exactly.
No sense of nothing. Okay, this was just an insurance policy, so you thought. Okay,
exactly.
Did not have one baby, but two babies that don't know how to handle your own children. Okay, and then get upset because all the responsibility done laid on the eldest child, who now you mad because you want to call her Miss Mother Hen. Okay, you know, you mad at the baby because the baby know how to take care of your baby better than you do.
Exactly.
You know, you mad.
And we really have females out there that are.
I know. When I was reading this, I said, "Ooh," because the part that got me. Wait a minute, I'm gonna have to read this. Callers, I'm coming to you, baby. I want y'all to really get into this book because, child, this here, just ooh, okay. Just done took me there. Wait a minute. I keep flipping through my pages. I keep losing my page. But you know what? Let me find. I'm gonna take a call and let me find my page. Let me go here. 313-658. Let me bring you on up in here and ask you a question while I find this page. I'm gonna read this passage, child, because y'all gonna trip on this passage. Come on, baby. Say what's your tea, baby? Say hello to Miss the Princess J. No, I'm sorry, the Duchess.
The Duchess. Good afternoon, Duchess.
Good afternoon.
I am blessed and have enjoyed sipping tea with you all today.
All right,
I don't have any comments or questions. I just wanted to say I'm enjoying this show.
Oh, thank you.
Hold on. Someone else is here and they want to say something.
Come on. All right. See, that's what I'm talking about. She brought the friend.
Hello, the Big Meech and the Duchess. How about that? I love everything about it. 10 times over.
Okay.
I am so glad. I was listening here just on pins and needles like, will somebody please talk about how stupid it is, forgive me for being blunt, love y'all, but how stupid it is as a mom to deny yourself the right of freedom. Like, are you serious? You really gonna play petty so tough that now you gonna grow into some bitter bitch at home watching these hard-headed ass kids, and this nigga all right cruising down the street getting all these women? Go with your daddy. He gonna teach you how to pick up a girl today and pray about it. And trust truly that your child may come back and learn something, but he all right. Look, he's still able to eat and play. The games. Oh my God! Thank y'all for touching on that. Love you both.
Thank you.
You know, now here's something that's really cute in that, and that is how. You know, we talk about love blocking, and I really want to get your perspective on this because you're teaching me something right here. You know, oftentimes we hear of folks who want to be a little bit that way about having the child go with the other parent because you may not have adored or liked what his character was, or, you know, the people that he's around and this, that, and the other. But, you know, how is it that we need to rectify that? Because his character was all right for you to lay down with him, you know, and carry on. And it was fine at that time. But now that y'all have brought this baby into play, I don't want my child around all this nonsense, or he going to teach my child. Baby, he was already that when you laid down with it. You did not come up with the possibility that this was someone who you thought, you know, was good. You did not outline that for yourself to say, if we had a child or if something came of this is going to be the baby daddy. You know, and now that he is, you know, see, it was one thing for him to be, you called him daddy because that was cute in the bedroom, but now he done became daddy, and now you questioning his parental rights or whatever. So how is it that we rectify that and not be in the category of love blocking, or is it just simply that?
It's just simply that. We have to get out of our feelings. We have to understand that regardless of who the father is, if that's the kid's biological father, you knew every characteristic that this man had before you had a baby by him.
Shut up, girl.
You knew.
Okay, it's just that simple.
You knew. So, therefore, you can't say, well, I don't want him around because he's doing this. I think the best thing to do is to have a conversation with the father. If the father is one that drinks a lot and you just know, you don't turn up like you used to turn up because you are a mother now and you know he's still having the boys over and they're drinking and you don't think he's quite watching the child like he's supposed to, then give him, talk to him, not yell at him or talk at him. Just say, look, I understand on the weekends you're doing X, Y, Z. If you guys are going to be hanging out and what have you, you think you're going to start drinking and all the cursing, the profanity and stuff, I'm a changed person. I really don't want that around our baby. So just give me a call and I'll come back and pick him up. And then when things settle down a little bit, I'll be more than happy to bring him back. I just don't want him in that type of environment, seeing the alcoholic beverages, seeing the cursing, your girls, gyrating around here and what have you. I understand this is your home, though. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to dictate what's going on in your house.
Right.
But I'm just saying I don't want our child exposed to this right now. I don't think this is the right time of their life for them to be exposed. And that's when co-parenting after a breakup is so necessary. If you're able to sit down and talk to them, if I bring that to you like that, then you're more apt to say, you know what, I understand, and I can see the negative effect that it will have on our child. So, you know what, when the boys come over, will you come get him? And, tomorrow maybe can you bring him back, or can I get an extra day during the week to spend time with him and what have you? If you do that, then you're able to come to a common ground and you're able to deal with each other a whole lot better than saying, I don't want my child over there with you and all your girls, you smoking, you drinking, you're doing this and you're doing that, and that's not, talking at them is not going to get you anywhere. But if you sit down and talk to them, that'll get you everywhere.
Okay. Talk to them and not at them. And see, that's one of the things. Yeah, that's a real big one, because the second you sit up there and start, wanting to dictate this and dictate that and tell them what you bet not be and see, this is why. And if you and all the finger pointing and neck rolling,
right?
That becomes the problem.
And then
that becomes the problem.
Right, because now they're going to retaliate against you because how you going to talk to me like that? You're going to disrespect me? No, if you talk to them. But
and then tell me how to raise my, because this is my child too. How you going to tell me how to raise my, and all of that?
Right. You to them, just real sweet, real nice. Just like when you were dating and you wanted that new dress, you knew how to talk to him then to get the new dress from him. Learn how to talk to him and get your baby back and get your baby out of that harmful situation. So there's a way to do it. And I call it the peak tornado. You can release a hurricane out of your mouth. You can release a tsunami out of your mouth. You can release any natural disaster out of your mouth, because once those words come out, the damage is done.
Exactly.
But if you learn how to contain that storm inside of your mouth, learn to contain that storm, keep that storm calm, you can flip out when you get home and what have you. But as long as you're in his presence, learn how to talk to him and deal with him in a spring-like manner, get what you want, and move it on.
Okay. Now, let's go here with a couple of things in the book, because I noticed that you were talking about different organizations, because there is an organization out called A Father's Rights that as a group of attorneys are carrying on to help men overcome the legal system and to get counseling and carrying on. The co-parenting after a breakup. There's support groups out there for that kind of thing. Tell us how you came up with the resources that you were quoting and using in the book, and how did you find them, and what is your partnership with them today?
Well, as far as the co-parenting after a breakup, various organizations here in Atlanta are out to help you. The fatherhood program with child support. A lot of men don't know that once your driver's license is suspended because you have fallen behind on child support, you can enter into the fatherhood program, and they will assist you and help you get your driver's license back. It's a temporary license, but it's a driver's license, whereas you can continue to have that right to go back and forth to work, back and forth to the grocery store, whatever it is that you need to do, and to continue to be productive. So once I started doing the book, I just started researching and reaching out. There are so many organizations out there. If you just go to meetup.com, and that's MEETUP.com, and you just type in what type of support group you're in need of, and those support groups are out there for you. Dealing with being a single mom, I was a single mom for a long time before I got married, so I needed guidance. I needed help. I deal with my ex very, very well, and that's because I was able to deal with people that mentored to me and was able to tell me, hey, this is the way you need to live your life. This is what you need to do in order to make things better for you and your kid. So I thought about all of those things when I was writing this book, and I'm like, yeah, these are things that really need to take place now. And once I went on meetup.com, all of those organizations exist. We just got to reach out. And, there's no saying you have not because you've asked not. So we got to get out of that square of saying there's no one out there to help me. No one knows what you're in need of if you don't reach out and say, hey, I need help. I need this. There are counselors out there to help you, bitter breakups. And it's ironic that your insurance company, depending on your type of medical insurance, will pay for your counseling.
Oh,
if you're so stressed out about your relationship, you're depressed about certain things, your insurance company will help pay. Normally it's like 3 visits and what have you. They would pay for you to get counseling. So like I said, the resources are out there. We just have to reach out there for them. So once you get the book, you see the various organization names, you just Google them, and they're there. The men that are facing issues with their child support and what have you, go to your local child support office. If you lost your job due to situation beyond your control, then let them know that, hey, I'm not working, but I want to be able to take care of my kid. They'll place you in the fatherhood program. That way, once you're not looking at your money just going up, and worrying about whether or not they're going to take a warrant out for your arrest because you're so far behind on child support. Those organizations will help you out.
Okay. Well, then there we go. And there we have it, honey. There we have it. Okay. Here, let me take this. Let me go here. 248-915. 248-915. Come on up in here, baby.
What's up, baby?
Hey.
How you?
I am all of the above and beyond. What's the tea?
What's your name again?
This is JuVan Jackson, Princess J, or the Duchess.
All right, the Duchess. We're going to call you the Duchess. Miss Duchess, I love you so much for the information that you have given to men, not just black men, but just to men in general. I also have another resource that will help men or help you find organizations that can help men. It's called Trusted Helpline.
Great.
I'm from Detroit as well with Meech. I work with a program called Gas from Day One in Detroit. They had a budget of $3 million with the black men and the baby situation being like it is. They said they couldn't find 300 black men with $3 million. So every month they spent the money looking, but they also, their quarterly reports always said, due to circumstances beyond our control, we couldn't fulfill the grant.
Wow.
Right. That's how they always do us with this kind of money. Duchess, you also had a thing where you said with the women, with the mothers that are on, I wrote this stuff down on stuff that was written. Okay, here we go. Where the mothers are taking out the anger on the fathers by holding the child captive. To the mothers that keep their children from their fathers, they don't understand that they're damaging their mental and spiritual they're giving them mental and spiritual depravity. What is this? Well, did I write? Okay, read it. That is placed upon the child.
Right.
No matter what, especially when kids are young. I actually fit your situation. I was married for 10 years. I was bisexual when I got married. My wife knew this. We had twins. As things go along, of course, we separate or whatever. We get a divorce. And she's mad at me because I didn't stay with her. And she thought I left her for another man or something like that. And it had nothing to do with that. I left her because of her nasty-ass ways.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of women don't understand all that mouth shit reminds men of the bad sides of their mothers. The mothers that take this shit out on the kids because she mad at the daddy.
Right.
It becomes a systematic training or a systematic induction into a system that promotes failure.
Right. It's just a generational curse.
Yeah, it is. The kids become what they're taught.
Right.
So, if your mammy is fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry every other night to pay the bills, the daughter soon, when she's able after that first period, she's going to be fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry. That's probably the same Tom, Dick, and Harry that her mama fucked. Come on now. Y'all sound like lady sings the blues. When the man went up there, what they call it, Big John. Hey. Anyway. It's systematic. And then, for the ones that are pushed off on the fathers who ain't shit, the boys are taught the code. You know, what's done here stays here. What is it? Men often live by the street code. What's done, what is it? Word is bond. So if you and we out doing something, and I know it may not be right, but you with me, you don't run your mouth about it. And a lot of times, especially with these women, where they're screaming, "Oh, this is my baby, but come to find out, she's been fucking you and 3 of your partners. So when you go to court, and y'all didn't see more when the girl had been on the TV 5 times, and every time she go, he ain't the daddy.
Right.
Oh, right, yeah.
That speaks a lot about the individual when they have multiple encounters with men. You know, you have to look at their rearing. What was going on with them as a child? What did they face? What generational curse? And it's not only an African American thing, it's global. What generational curse that this individual was faced with? And that's why it's so important that we pray. We pray over our children. We do what is right. We do God's will when it comes to our kids, because kids are a gift. God did not have to bless anybody with a child. Children are a gift from above. And until you can really be in a kid's life and know the importance of that child or what the joy that the child brings, you'll never appreciate it. If you're just constantly having them from everybody on the face of this earth, you have no appreciation for these kids.
Ooh, not just for the kids. She said, wait a minute, no appreciation for the kids. And that was so far beyond no appreciation for yourself, because the whole idea of doing all that was to find the gratification. So the gratification, that was all selfish anyway. The kid just became a byproduct of your selfishness.
But hold on, Mitch. Hold on, Mitch. A lot of those women, those young women, go on and have sex with the men like that to get pregnant to hold them hostage. I'm telling you what I've seen. They make a plan, and the man thinking she on her birth control. Oh yeah, I'm taking my pills, and then 90 days later, I'm pregnant.
And that's why it's so important. The importance of that, if the gentleman is not wants to stay in the relationship, it is utterly important that he gets the legitimation, he legitimizes that child, and he set up the child support, and he do the things that are by law, so that he does not have to. If he doesn't want to deal with the mom, then if his visitation days are Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with this kid, and if the mother is constantly moving and not allowing him to see the kid and what have you, do it one time, a contempt order. If you hold her, file a contempt order against her because she's not following the law because of what was released by the judge, then one time she go to jail for that, she'll stop all of that. And then that way it's all squashed after that. It's squashed after that. So as an individual, as a race, we just need to get the word out. If you don't intend on being with this person that you just recently found out is pregnant with your child, be sure to legitimize that child when that child is born. First, get the DNA. And if the DNA shows that the child is yours, legitimize your child so that you can have equal rights as though that child was born into wedlock. He could be an heir to your throne, because if you are sitting on $1 million and you perish on tomorrow and that is your seed, there's nothing that has been done, then that child does not reap the benefits of the things that you've worked so hard for. And in the back of your mind, I'm going to make sure my kid have this, that, and the other when I'm gone. But if you don't do what's right, then that child is not an heir to the throne for you.
Ain't that nothing? Here, let me do this, because I'm right here at this part that I wanted to read. It started on page 159 under the caption, "Things Just Got Real." And when I read this, how y'all understand what I'm talking about? Because, see, this particular situation here, we know all too often. There's a couple of passages that I'm going to read, because I really want y'all to get into this book, honey. It had almost been a month since the kids last seen their father. Karen kept dodging the court-appointed monitor. Suddenly there was a knock at the door. Karen was not expecting anyone at first, thought it was Tony to pay a surprise visit. However, when she opened the door, she saw it was the sheriff. She was puzzled. "Are you Karen Wilson?" "Yes, how can I help you?" He handed her the papers. "You've been served." As he proceeded to walk away, she called to him. "Wait, served for what?" "Read the papers, ma'am." At first glance, she could not comprehend what they said. Then she saw the word that she had dreaded seeing: divorce. She never thought that she would be a statistic in this category. She just figured that when she was ready to be a wife again, she would go back to that road with no problem. She has always felt that she was beautiful and untouchable and would always have her way no matter who she hurt in the process. Wow, he really wants this to be over, she said to herself. Karen began to reflect back over her life and realized that she was really going to be single. She was somewhat taken aback, but then quickly, the fact that she was going to be rejected again made her angry. She called Jonathan. He knew that she would call once she was served, so he let the call go to voicemail, knowing that she would say something that would help his case. Right. You want a divorce and you want my kids? Tell you what, your life would be a living hell before you get my kids. Karen called Tony to tell him, but he was ignoring her calls again. She left him a message that it was urgent that he called her back. Mom, Cheryl screamed, "Come quick." Karen looked towards the steps and went back trying to call Tony. Cheryl ran down the steps with tears in her eyes. Mom, it's JJ. Karen looked at Cheryl. "Go sit down, I'm busy," she yelled at Cheryl. Cheryl ran out of the room, got the cordless phone, and called 911. Karen was so focused on trying to locate Tony that she did not follow up to see what was wrong with JJ. Soon the ambulance arrived. When Karen saw them, she was puzzled that they were there. I'm sorry, we didn't call for an ambulance. Cheryl ran to the top of the stairs. I did. Please come, my brother. He's breathing funny. The paramedics looked up at Karen and proceeded to run in the direction of Cheryl. Cheryl had given JJ his inhaler, but he was still saying that his chest was tight and it was hurting. Karen had never experienced JJ having an attack, nor did she know how serious it could be, since she never bothered to be involved when it came down to his health. The paramedics advised Karen that they needed to take the child to the hospital. She stated that she would follow them. Once in the car, she began to scream at Cheryl. Why didn't you tell me he was sick? With tears flowing down her face, I tried, but you ignored me as always. Little girl, I know you're not getting smart with me. Cheryl was angry because she knew her dad would have listened to her. No, I am not. I tried. I really tried. Just let us live with our daddy. You don't want us. What? Who do you think you talking to? As long as you have breath in your body, you better not ever put me in a situation like this again, nor talk to me in that tone. I didn't put you in nothing. You supposed to be our mother. You should have come to see about him. I want my daddy. Before Cheryl knew it, she was hit in the face. Karen slapped her and told her, act like the child that you are. Don't be getting a smart mouth with me, and don't you ever mention your daddy in my presence ever again. Cheryl began to cry harder, but she remembered one thing her father told her on that last visit. This is a temporary situation, and you will be back with me. Pray every day. God has his angels around you and your brother. Sitting in the waiting room with her mother, Cheryl could only wish for her father. Karen was asked about JJ's medical history and was at a loss. She had to call Jonathan. She dreaded having to call him when something went wrong, considering she had just got the divorce papers today. It really made her cringe that she needed him. As she proceeded to call him, he saw her number but quickly hit ignore button. He felt as if she was calling to argue. Karen really felt some type of way, as she needed Jonathan while JJ was sick. She had called all the numbers for him, but no answer seemed like karma. She finally decided to call from the hospital lobby phone. Jonathan saw the number came up, and his heart skipped a beat. Hello? And before Karen could say a word, he screamed, what's wrong with JJ? Karen never felt compassion for Jonathan and never saw how serious JJ's medical situation was until this moment. JJ's in the ER. He had an attack. I think that's what they called it. Is he okay? The doctor said they need to ask you a few questions. Karen passed the phone over to the doctors, and he proceeded to get the necessary information from Jonathan. Once done, he gave the phone back to Karen. She reluctantly talked to Jonathan. Hello? Hi, I know this must be a little scary for you, but he'll be fine. He has an inhaler. He just needs to know how to use it. Just make sure you stay on top of his treatments. Okay. How's Cheryl? You mean Mother Hen? Yeah, that she can be. She fine. Look, I just got to get back to JJ. I will be in touch. And Karen hangs up the phone, and I'm gonna stop there.
That right there is very, very interesting from the book, Duchess. But far too often it don't go there smoothly.
Well, see, here's the thing. What we know, and see, I know women like this. Okay, you sit up there, you not necessarily trick this man into having kids, but your whole idea for it was to secure your place in his life, or to his fortune, or to his legacy, or to whatever. Okay, and now that you done had these, we've seen this. Hell, this is The Sound of Music. Ain't that what? In fact, that was her name, the Duchess, honey. She sat up there trying to sit up there coming to the fortune because he had the money, but didn't want to be a mother to the kids. She gonna send him off to boarding school or whatever. You know, we see this kind of behavior all the time, and just like you said earlier, you know, with the parents wanting to take it out on the kids. You know, you mad at the daddy, but now you gonna huff and puff at me and carried on because of this. Just like she got mad at the baby because I called 911. Don't you ever put me in no situation like this again. Bitch, wait a minute.
My brother's dying.
We sitting up here, we got a medical situation, and you sitting up here worried about the other piece of trade you trying to call that you cheating on daddy with, who ain't answering the phone. And so we have that whole big old catch-22 in the situation, and then the children end up suffering for it, And how many times do we hear this? How many times do we let this go on? And depending on how you believe, honey, we can call it a generational curse. Ayanna Van Zant like to call it the pathology, honey, because this is the pattern that we get locked into because it's repeated over and over and over and over again. When do we break it? How do we sit down there and say, I want this to stop? How do we come out of being selfish? Because a lot of folks, in this particular situation, the children was a selfish act. It wasn't out of love. This was out of money and greed. They're the byproduct of greed.
And let's look at this. A lot of it is the mothers having these babies trying to hold on to the man. And so when that doesn't work, and as the child matures, especially if he's a boy and he looks like his daddy. Walk like his daddy, lips smack like his daddy. She takes a lot of that frustration out on him. Stop that shit. You ain't your daddy used to do that shit.
Right.
And I think it's something that we should never do that. We should never tell a child in a negative way, you're just like your father. That is something that should never be done to a child. I have a 9-year-old, and he is a techie. We went to my godmother's home, and he was looking at her computer, and the first thing he says is like, what's wrong with your computer? Why does it look like that? And I said to myself, yep, he's his daddy's child. That's the first thing he went to. He went and fixed my godmother's computer, and she just looked. She was like, oh, my. She was like, yep, that's Daryl. Yep, that's him. So if it's a positive way of speaking, you're like your father or you're like your mother, then yes. But if it's negative, don't do that. Don't do that to the children.
But, it's also regional. A lot of these things happen all over the country, all over the world. Let's not just say country, all over the world. But like Detroit's process with child support and maternity and checking everything is different than Georgia.
Right,
exactly.
It's statewide,
Yeah, the law.
Each state governs themselves differently. Let me press pause for a second because we're down to the last few minutes, and when we get done with this, I have to go to the television studio because my local show here, Atlanta's Up and Rising, we're back in season, so we're going to be recording. So what I want to do... what I want to do here is Princess J, the Duchess, I want you to give everybody your website and how we can get in touch with you and how they can purchase the book, honey, because they got to get this book.
Okay, you can go to afathersrightforyou.wix, that's WIX.com /A Father's Right. Once again, A Father's Right for You .wix, WIX.com /A Father's Right. You can also find me on Facebook at JuVan, J-U-V as in Victorious, A-N, last name Jackson, and also on my Father's Right page. You can also find me on LinkedIn at A Father's Right and JuVan Jackson. Also on Twitter, you can find me at JuVan Jackson and A Father's Right.
All right, honey. Well, Duchess, I'm going to sit down there and let you get back to your day because I just got my little prompt. We are 60 seconds into this thing, and I want to just say thank you for just picking up and going with the call, honey, because there's not a lot of women out there who are going to support our men in this particular fashion. And, now that you've preached, honey. The choir got to sing, and we got to go out there, honey. The hymn is, honey, legitimize your children.
Yes.
Okay, legitimize your children. Legitimize your children. Legitimize your children. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for coming on to the show, my darling.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate
you more, honey. We'll talk again very, 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 very soon.
Yes. Looking forward.
All right.
Be blessed.
Be blessed as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm hoping and I'm praying and I know for a fact that everything that we've just done here is going to be a benefit to all of you, honey. And I thank you for tuning in. I thank you for coming on in and doing the thing, honey. A Father's Rights, okay, by Princess J. You need to get this book in your repertoire, honey. A Father's Rights. Okay, it reads like a novel, but I'm telling you, the situations up in here, you're going to see somebody that you know in every situation that's here. And when you get to the end of the book, at the back it has resources and questions. You've heard me read some of them for you here that's going to help you to empower our men about this thing here. So without any further ado, honey, you may finish all of your crumpets, my darlings, because the tea has been dished. And you've been dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meech. If you love me, tell a friend. If you hate me, honey, tell an enemy. But do know this, one way, shape, style, form, or fashion, this thing here that I'm doing will move forward. Thank you, my babies. Honey, join us next week. We got the woe man himself. Mr. Wyatt O'Brien Evans will be returning. Okay, honey, we're ready to bump that shit, baby. So, yes, come on back next week, and we'll be right here, same bat time, same wonder place, honey. So that there is that. I will talk to you on the next go-round, baby. Now, let me go do my Batgirl change because I got to get to the television studio. I'll talk with you soon. T.
Peace.